In the heart of an aging city, scaffolded by steel structures and faded billboards, there lived old Mrs. Agnelli. The neighborhood called her Grandma Ada, though she had no kin that anyone knew of. Her apartment, a cozy two-bedroom at the corner of Falvey Street and West End Boulevard, was home to countless pots of thriving plants and an assortment of vintage radios. This particular evening, like every other, Ada was bent over her largest radio, a bulky pre-war model, coaxing life out of its ancient valves with patient, liver-spotted hands. A knock, gentle yet firm, echoed through her entryway. She glanced up, somewhat surprised, since visitors were rare ever since the new development began encroaching upon the old neighborhood charms. The person at her door was a boy of about 10 or 12, his eyes wide and full of something that resembled hope. This young boy, named Eli, was an unexpected bridge between past and present, someone Ada had only seen rushing past her window on his way to school. "Mrs. Agnelli?" Eli inquired, sliding a much-folded piece of paper toward her on the entry table. "We need your help." It turned out that he, along with some friends from school, were rallying the neighborhood to resist a new high-rise project that threatened to replace the community garden, the last bit of green that hadn't been swallowed up by concrete. Ada's heart quivered like a struck chord. The garden was where her late husband had proposed, under the broad-leaved shadow of an old maple, 57 springs ago. The shared intimacy of that space, the whispered promises, clung to her like a second skin. She decided to help Eli, investing not only her presence but also leveraging her array of friendships with long-standing residents. Over the next few weeks, Ada's home became a meeting hub for the resistance. Strategies were chalked up on her living room walls, and street campaigns were orchestrated from her kitchen table. Her old radios, used to spread the call to arms, crackled to life with a fervor not seen since the early broadcasting days. The movement even got a catchy name, Voices of West End, signaling not just a protest against urban development, but also a cry to preserve a way of life. The city officials didn't expect much resistance from what they viewed as a decrepit block ready for renewal. So, it was to their great annoyance that every time they arranged a presentation or a showing, Ada and her motley crew were there, complete with signs, chants, and an irrefutable sense of community. With each gathering, their ranks swelled as more residents, young and old, joined in. The local news picked up the story, and suddenly the fight for the garden wasn't just a neighborhood skirmish. It was a citywide dialogue on heritage, culture, and the soul of urban development. As weeks turned into months, the opposition garnered enough attention and support that the developers had to return to the drawing board. Eventually, turning what was once a clear-cut plan into a revised project that included a public park area around which smaller, community-friendly structures were to be built. Through it all, Ada found herself revitalized, breathing life into her own days as she fought for the communities. Her involvement gave her a newfound recognition in the neighborhood, no longer just the quaint old lady with her radios, but a stalwart guardian of their collective history. In the warmth of a golden autumn, the community celebrated their shared victory in the new garden park. Ada, now affectionately deemed the General of West End by her comrades, watched as children played under the same sprawling maple where her life's love had blossomed decades ago. It was then, with the sun melting away the years, that Ada realized the true strength of voices united, the deep roots of community, and the sheer power of remembering. As the day faded and the children's laughter echoed into twilight, Ada turned her old radio on. Between the bursts of static, a familiar song began to play. It was their song, hers and her late husband's. She sang, aisled, eyes glistening, understanding that some things, like true love and real community, are timeless.